If you love emotional and soulful R&B, similar to artists like Muni Long or old school Alicia Keys, I'm talking that crying in the studio, slow dance type of vibe, this one's for you. This time, we're flipping the vibe to 6/8, we're stacking some snare sounds, of course we're putting in some original vocals, and I've got a custom DI electric guitar preset that we're gonna make from scratch. Let's get this thing started. Most R&B music, or music in general, is actually in 4/4, and that's gonna sound like this, where 6/8 is gonna sound more like this. You feel it right away. It's gonna be more meandering, it almost feels waltzy or dancey. This is what we're gonna play on. It's gonna feel more slower, more ballady. Think Daniel Caesar, think Muni Long. First thing I'm starting off with is figuring out some soulful chords. I actually am using my Glide synth preset, which I just made a tutorial on, which you can check out in the corner there or in the description. I'm doing something fun with the chords here, but the main progression is G minor 7, C minor 7, and that just loops. But what I'm doing is adding a passing chord, which is a diminished chord with the note right before our main chord. So G minor 7, the note right before that is F sharp. Every time I'm coming up to G minor 7, I'm playing F sharp diminished before playing G minor 7. In the same way, when I'm playing C minor 7, I'm playing a B diminished before going into C minor 7. It'll look like this: G minor 7, G7, C minor 7, D7, G minor 7. So my two passing chords can periodically be G7 and D7, or it will be B diminished, F sharp diminished. Let me know if that all made sense. We're gonna keep moving. Adding in a nice piano, epiano vibe. This is gonna give it that nice shimmery quality. For my vocals, I'm slowing it down with varispeed, singing it in at the different tempo and key. We're gonna speed it back up and it's gonna give us a nice, emotional, higher pitched, sampley vibe. Perfect for R&B.
Thinking about you. Ooh, thinking about you. Oh, ooh, ooh, thinking about you. Thinking about you. Got me thinking, oh, thinking about you.
For the vocals, obviously we're gonna use Melodyne to clean up the pitch, and then we're gonna use some filtering, a little bit of formant shifting, and some reverb. We're gonna make it nice and clean and to feel like a sample. When I'm listening to these soulful, slower tempo R&B songs, they always have those nice lead sounds. So we're gonna replicate that sound by getting a triangle lead from Omnisphere. Next, I'm gonna add some strings. I'm using BBC Symphony Orchestra. I always find it's perfect for just those grand, epic strings. Next, we're gonna add in a real violin. This is gonna give it that texture and that organic feel. I've been slowly learning the violin and I've got a cool video planned, but that'll come in the future. Spent some time building out the snare sound. I'm stacking 3 layers. I've got a rim, I've got a snap, and then I've got a snare sound. And all those together is gonna blend into the perfect snare sound for what we want, which kind of feels organic and natural, which is important. This is what the snare sounded like before all the stack. And this is what it sounds like all together. Adding in a percussion layer, this is going to give it a lot of feel and a lot of groove. Adding in two different types of hi-hats. One's going to be the classic drawn in ones with the 16th and the 64th notes. The other one is going to be a more natural sounding hi-hat that's got a lot of swing to it. So we've got this natural groove. Add in the open hat. Add in the kick. Adding in some live bass. This just gives it that foundation. That's the floor. Move it a little bit to make it groovy. I love it. I wasn't going to add this in, but this runs so sick. So check out this little bass part too. Recently, I've gone back to adding sub bass with my live bass. I find that it can either be messy or it can be the exact thing you need to give it that weight and foundation. All right, moving on to electric guitar. First thing we're going to do is add some nice sparkly chords. With the effects, this is where we're going to dig into it. I've created a sick DI preset that I think sounds excellent. Over the years, I've spent a lot of time trying to make DI guitar sound cool, and typically I stay away from it and use my pedal board. But today, I didn't have access to the pedal board, so we had to make do with the DI. So this is the preset I've created. Let's break it down. First thing you're going to need, an amp emulator. I use Tonex, and I use either Matchless or Fender amps. I find they just give it that pop, that brightness. I also use something called Helix Native, which I don't use their amp emulations, but I use their reverbs and delays and modulations, which I think sound perfect for the guitar. I've got retro reel to give it that tape wobble. Then I've got a ping pong delay to give it that stereo width. Then I got a compressor, and this thing's vital to just giving it that squish and that glue. And then of course you got reverb to give it that ambiance. Then I'm sending it to chow tape to give it that saturation. Tape saturation just sounds better to my ears, especially when you want it to sound vintage and soulful. If you want to get that preset, as well as the loop or the beat, it's available on my Patreon right now for all members. Link in the description. I then added rotor cabinet, which just gives it that Leslie kind of modulated vibe, and that was for the guitar, and I think it sounds so sick. If you're a vocalist or artist looking to get custom R&B production just like this, hit me up on email or on my Instagram. I would love to help serve your vision. And with that, let's check out the full loop.